Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about taking responsibility of your life, taking responsibility of yourself, and becoming responsible, essentially. I'll be like the temporary background as I figure out where I'm going to start recording or whatever, but taking control over your life, taking responsibility for your life, this is definitely catered towards a specific kind of person. Like I used to be somebody who would rely on adults outside of me or people outside of me to solve my issues or to take care of important things, and I would become lazy in that, and especially in my own pursuits or things I wanted to do, I'd become lazy and I wouldn't take responsibility for myself, or I would wait till the very last minute until I had to do something, like for example getting an apartment or paying bills or whatever, and I had to wait until people would be like, okay, you have this much time, and like I would be forced to. And this is, I hope it's to people who were like me, because when I was doing this, I was surrendering control of my life to anybody or whatever it may be. If it were procrastination, if it were other people who I would depend on to take care of me or to solve my issues for me. Like, for example, like when I'd get in a big enough kind of problem or whatever, I'd just be calling my stepmom or my stepmom and be like, please help me, how do I do this? When I was perfectly always capable of figuring it out myself. But it's like sometimes part of us doesn't want to do things for ourselves when we know we're capable of it. Sometimes we are used to handing that over and just assuming maybe life will take care of it like it always has, or like if you were raised with parents who would solve all those things for you and didn't really push you to solve your own issues or push you to be responsible for yourself. And growing up, I would be told I was irresponsible and I couldn't be trusted, and so I kind of internalized that, and it would project out of me as I wasn't responsible and I didn't take responsibility for myself. And when you're doing that, in a sense, for me, it manifested as I wanted freedom in my life, but I would always like end up under somebody's control physically, because I'd be living in their house, I'd be living with my parents, or moving from one parent's house to another and living under their like rules, or like with a friend, and it felt like I wanted all this freedom for myself, but I couldn't take it physically because I wouldn't take responsibility for myself, and I wouldn't take that responsibility, and I wouldn't stand my feet on the ground and tell myself I'm gonna solve this myself, and I'm gonna be my own rock, and I'm gonna be the adult I'd look up to in my life, and I'm gonna help myself, because nobody's gonna save me at the end of the day. Nobody's gonna save me but myself. And I can keep going around letting other people save me temporarily. You could too. You go around letting people save you and solve your issues, but at the end of the day, what real skills are you learning towards solving yourself, solving your own issues? Are you just gonna keep letting it manifest one way or another, and let it be an issue your whole life because you're too scared to take responsibility and be that person who stands up in your own life and takes you where you want to be? And there's a lot of ways this could be said, or a lot of things this could apply to. Like, for example, another thing personally I wouldn't take responsibility for in my life was doing the things that I wanted to do career-wise or amongst other things, and I would just float through life not doing anything and not standing up and not taking the steps I wanted to take to become the person that I wanted to become. And in this video, I want to tell you to stand up and do those things. It might seem hard, and you might be scared, but it's not going to be done until you stand the hell up, until you stand up and do them and work on them. And you know, Rome obviously wasn't built in a day. You might be scared because you won't get it perfectly immediately, you won't get it right immediately, but you'll get it eventually, especially the sooner you start. And another quick mentality for that was this one comment with a reply that was like, but it'll take 3 years. And the person had responded with, 3 years will pass anyways. So start anyways. Start despite time. Start despite anything. Start despite being scared. I can't tell you how many things I've started despite being afraid, and I shockingly made it out the other end. So, like, part of that can also be afraid of not being successful. And it's like, well, you're never gonna get it unless you try. You're never gonna get it. It's either no or yes. And it's certainly gonna be no if you don't even try. It's certainly gonna be no. So, yeah, it's like you need to begin to take responsibility for yourself. I needed to do that. And it is so empowering to not lose people in your life and be like, well, now I'm broken. Now, like, say, for an example, you lose a person to you who you looked up to, who would help you with things, maybe like a parental figure or something, and they die, whatever it may be. You lose somebody, friend, whoever it may be, and you just feel so lost, and like your life doesn't make sense, and you feel like a lost, abandoned baby who can't do anything for themselves, who's scared. Like, you can't let other people be your sense of security and reliability. You have to be that for yourself. You have to be that parent for yourself. You have to be your own responsibility, and you have to be the person you rely on, because nobody can just save you every single time. Nobody can save you but yourself, and you are your own best friend. You are the person you have. And why not be a strong person who can handle themselves? Like, think if, for example, if you had a parental figure who didn't know how to take care of you growing up. Some of you may have, but a parental figure who was very irresponsible and wasn't like a solid rock, so you couldn't like trust them or something or anything, or you didn't feel a sense of reliability in them, and maybe you had to rely on yourself. But imagine having that. Like, imagine, and then realize that's you. That could be you. Imagine you becoming a parent like that. But that's not, I just, nobody talks about this perspective very often, but you really need to take responsibility for yourself in your life. You can't, like, again, this is catered to a specific audience, but you can't kind of be like a baby and like float around and expect for everybody to cater to you and solve your issues and solve your problems. Because at the end of the day, you are the person you have. You're your rock, you're your foundation, and that's what you should be. You should be stable for yourself. You should be responsible for yourself, because honestly, it's hard and like frightening at first. It was for me, but once you internalize that nobody's gonna save you but yourself, it becomes very comforting. You be that parent for yourself. Be that reliable, or not even parent necessarily, be that reliable adult figure for yourself. The one who always stuck to their word and did what they said they would. That one who you could cry and ask for help like an adult, like if you needed help from an adult. Like, be that person. Be that person who you could rely on for whatever it may be. Be that solid foundation for yourself, because you are the best person to be doing that for. You know yourself better than anybody else, and if you're able to be your rock and your foundation and not need anybody else for that, that's amazing. You can accomplish anything. It makes you fearless in such a specific way, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But yeah, sometimes we get lazy in life, or we get scared and we hand off our responsibilities to others, or we don't think about them and we avoid them, and it's like, it's such a way to rob yourself of life. You're just constantly handing, sorry, my sinuses are all messed up. If you're constantly handing yourself away and handing your security away and giving it to other people to keep, or just entrusting your security or your sense of reliability into another person, and not taking responsibility or whatever it may be for yourself. Like, whatever age you may be, this is probably definitely catered to a more young audience, but it could apply to anybody. But I've lost my train of thought. Just be that rock for yourself, because nobody can do it better than you, and take your power back. I suppose that's all I have to say on the topic. I am blinking a bit, but I hope you guys like the temporary new location. I find a new white light, so that's convenient. But I'm really trying to think if I have anything left to say on the topic. It's difficult at first. It's difficult to take responsibility for your life at first, and it's difficult to take responsibility for yourself, and it can be scary and frightening, but it's possible. And once you get a hang of it, it becomes so empowering and so amazing. But I'm gonna wrap it up. I kind of have something to do tonight, but guys, I feel weird saying it out loud, but you're amazing, and I'll see you later. And if you have experience on this topic, please share. I love to hear it. I'd love to adopt your perspectives. I love hearing it. And especially for people who might relate to it, they might love hearing it in the comment section too. But anyway, bye guys. Talk to me about this if you've had the experience, and peace.